What's up, my YouTube base? Welcome to Cooking with Sil. Today, I'm going to share with you my secret for getting the perfect fall off the bone back rib. For me, I like to season my meat ahead of time with natural herbs and spices. What I've done recently is blended all of these ingredients together in various proportion to make my own spice rub and stored it in a container for repeat use. The fresh onion and sweet pepper, I usually hand chop and add those to my meat separately. I've pre-seasoned my meat and I've stored it overnight to marinate. These are back ribs, and these are the more meatier variety of your ribs. Pork side ribs are the bigger version of back ribs. When cooking, treat them the same. Both side ribs and back ribs lend themselves well to a spice rub or a marinade. As you may have noticed, I'm not using any sugar in my spice rub. Sugar tends to burn and give the wrong impression in terms of how well the meat is cooked. And never mind the health complications that come with the increased level of sugar. It's always desirable to work that marination into the meat. Sometimes recipes call for slow roasting the ribs in an oven or boiling the ribs before finishing on a barbecue. The desired result is for the meat to fall off the bone and not chewy or tough. Slow cooking at a low temperature could take a lot of time, which I don't have. Some methods call for using a slow cooker, but I have a different approach. This is the hand chopped onions. You can see how it melted during the overnight marination process. I also add sea salt to the marination process. For this amount of meat, I usually end up only using half a teaspoon of sea salt. The desired level of saltiness is always in your control. To finish things off, I usually add a little bit more extra seasoning. For example, add more black pepper, rub, and also paprika. It's up to you to determine how much of the spice rub you want to add to your meat. You'll probably end up experimenting for a while before you get to that level where you understand how much you would need to add. My point is, you should season the meat the way you like it. I'm going to do the opposite of what some recipes call for. I'm going to braise my ribs on the barbecue at a very high temperature. This is the method I'm going to use to lock in that spice rub into the meat. The desired temperature is about 400 degrees Fahrenheit. When I prepare ribs in the winter, I usually use the oven for this step, on broil. Okay, the timer to start this complete process starts now. Let the ribs cook undisturbed for about 5 to 6 minutes before you check in on them again. After that time, you can flip the meat to the other side.
Smell those flavors.
And let it sit for another 5 to 6 minutes. You can smell the aroma. All that seasoning. This is where I usually put my barbecue setting, about medium high. Some method to prepare your ribs call for a slow cooker. I'm going to do the opposite. It's my secret weapon for this process, the Instapot, which is going to allow me to fast cook my ribs. In my opinion, this device is extremely underrated in terms of how much time it can save when preparing meals such as this. Okay, time has elapsed and my seasons look locked in. It's time for the next step in the process. Carefully transfer the ribs into the stainless container of the Instant Pot pressure cooker. At this point, your ribs will still be tough and chewy. So I'm going to use the pressure cooker to tenderize these ribs. Add about a half a cup of water to the pot, which also contains some of the seasoning that I had left over in the pan. That's a small amount of water by any stretch of the imagination. After you've sealed up your pot, just plug it in and start your process. Use the meat setting to get the process going. Adjust the time to the desired level, which is 17 minutes in this case. Why 17 minutes? 17 minutes is enough time for the meat to get tender, but not too brittle and fall apart as you handle it. The pot needs at least 20 minutes on its own to build pressure before it kicks into the time that you've selected. As your meat is tenderizing, you'll probably have time to clean up the mess you've made in the kitchen. You'll probably need these containers again. Okay, that's the sound that time is up on your pressure cooker. Okay, time to let off some steam. I found that this pot is extremely safe when used in the correct manner. Fire up that barbecue again for the last step. You want to have your barbecue setting around medium. Oh, look at those ribs. The meat is separated but not completely off the bone. Carefully transfer the cooked ribs back to the barbecue. You might want to use 2 tongs just in case your meat is more tender than you think. This last step in the process should take about 15 minutes. As you can see, the pressure cooking process has generated twice the amount of liquid compared to what I put in. Just using my tongue and poking at the meat, you can see how tender it is. I'm going to use some of the liquid from the pressure cooker and baste my ribs while they're on the barbecue. This liquid could also be used to make some delicious tasting gravy for those who like gravy with their food. Carefully flip your ribs over to the other side. Time to spread my favorite barbecue sauce on these ribs. Stop the timer. This process is now complete. Time to give these ribs a taste. Let's see what we got. Very tender to the cut. Oh my God, look how easy that separates from the bone.
Delicious.
Not chewy and not tough. Well, time to go serve. And there you have it, folks. Fall off the bone back ribs in just under an hour. Give this technique a try. Hit me up, leave me a comment, and I'll see you on our next cookout. If you thought this video was helpful, help me grow my channel. Give me a thumbs up. hit that subscribe button, hit notification, leave me a comment, and I'll see you on our next project.